Missouri State Highway Patrol located in Jefferson City. If this is an emergency, please press 1. If you are with a law enforcement agency and are requesting an alert, please press 2. If you know your party's 4-digit extension, you may dial it at any time. For the corporate directory, please press pound and clearly state the first and last name of the person you are trying to reach. For road conditions, please press 3. To obtain a copy of a traffic crash report, please press 4. For tickets, please press 5. For questions about motor vehicle inspections or salvage vehicles, please press 6. For questions regarding criminal records, please press 7. For questions about driver's examinations and CDL examinations, please press 8. For all other inquiries, please press 9. Wait while I transfer your call. Highway Patrol Troop Moore.
Yeah, I was wanting to know if I could make a possibly children endangered report.
Okay, and where is the child?
I believe the children are in Texas with their mother right now.
Okay, then you need to call down to Texas.
No, their residence is here in Missouri. I'd like to speak with a trooper, please.
Okay, where do they live in Missouri?
Columbia.
Okay, and your name?
Daryl McClanahan.
How do you spell your last name?
McClanahan.
And her name?
Whose name?
The mother of the children.
The mother, her name is Sheena. I want to report the father.
Okay, so Sheena?
Yes.
And what is her last name?
Greitens, Grettens. Yes.
Okay, and who's the father?
Eric Greitens.
Okay, the one that used to be governor?
Yes.
Okay. And what is your callback number?
417-388-9595.
All right, I'll give it to a trooper to call you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello?
Hey, is this Daryl?
Yes.
Hey, this is Trooper Luke Benke with Missouri State Highway Patrol. How are you doing?
Good. Can you give me a second, get out of the wind here?
Yes, absolutely.
Stepped outside, and that'll be, next thing you'll be, I can't hear you. Did your dispatcher give you a little info on?
Just a very little bit. They didn't have too much to tell me.
Okay, I had called the Missouri Child Services, the hotline number they want you to call to report children in danger.
Yes.
And I have concerns, as well as people like Josh Hawley and Vicky Hartzler and many members of many Missourians who have read this affidavit from Sheena Greitens, the wife of our former governor, Eric Greitens.
Yeah.
That she alleges that he slapped her and knocked her down, took her cell phone, keys, wallet. There was physical violence in the home. He slapped the 3-year-old child. Now, you are a mandatory reporter, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you'll make a report as well to the Department of Child Services?
I'll contact them and kind of see what they have already figured out. Have you said you contacted them?
I did, and they said they didn't like taking stories from someone that didn't have firsthand knowledge. Well, I've read the public affidavit that she swore to under oath, and it's very concerning that there's two parents that can't get along. You know, my personal belief is children need a mother and a father, and it's not sometimes everybody can't get along, and that's understandable, but I believe he has a history of this behavior, and alpha guys can be domineering. A man wants to lead his family. I can understand the pressures that are alleged, but you know, he's threatened to kill himself whenever he was with her. These are all accusations, and I think it's concerning, and there should be a report made to the Child Services, and that's what I want. I mean, other people have as I stated, Josh Hawley, our Attorney General, Eric Schmidt, said he deserves to be in jail. Why isn't Eric Schmidt made a report to you guys or Child Services? These children are probably in Texas with their mother, so I'm going to be calling Travis County Child Services, and someone should just touch base. Now, myself personally, I had a YouTube video that someone saw, and that there was reports made about my family, multiple reports, and they were false reports here in Missouri, because Child Services did follow up on them, interviewed me, my wife, my children.
Yeah, so they're following up on you, but not following up on him.
Well, and I think what's fair is fair. There should be no special privileges for special people.
I agree completely.
Yeah. You guys have you guys have an ex-trooper, Henry Folsom, who shot Jeffrey Winehouse when he was on Adderall and Prozac, and Josh Hawley hasn't answered. Well, he kept the exculpatory evidence. There should be accountability. That's not anti-law enforcement to want everyone on the same playing field. And of course, there's a brotherhood of support the blue line.
I mean, in my experience, every officer I've talked to agrees that we especially should be held accountable for our actions. I mean, we set the example to the other public. So,
amen. Because, and that's, I think the whole country is wanting that, because people see how much money you have is how much justice you can get. And it's in no way meant to, and I think it's taken the wrong way by people who don't critically think like you do. And I appreciate that greatly, because I support law enforcement, and when you need the police, you need the police. And when you need help, you need help. And if we didn't have, I mean, that people would just run amok with no law and order. And we need law and order. But like you said, if someone in a high position, which law enforcement is, you can order me out of my vehicle. You guys have a lot of things to do on people's rights. And so that's the reason it's kind of difficult for me. I don't want to call and say this, but he's been called to apologize. Maybe it's a fight in court, but he's not someone I think that should be in a leadership position. But the main thing is the children. I have 4 little children, and there should be someone say something so that this man takes this serious and tries to make peace with his wife for the children's sake.
It's with her affidavit that she signed and put out. Whoever is the officer who was taking that affidavit, when she submitted it, when it was taken and recorded, if they had any suspicion of child abuse, which obviously there is because it was stated in the affidavit,
they would be a mandatory reporter.
Yes, yeah, they would also follow up on it. I know a lot of the time, with these higher end government officials, when it comes to them, a lot of these investigations are kept pretty close to whoever is the one investigating it. So I will have to check to see if Child Protective Services actually followed up and did an investigation, which they very well could have.
And please
do. It could be in the middle of an investigation too. So I will definitely follow up with them and see what they had going on.
And you know what people think about government investigating government.
Yeah, I agree completely. Thankfully, in my experience, Child Protective Services don't really care who you are. They'll do.
Oh yeah, I refused. I have videos posted on my YouTube channel, Missouri Battle Flag, and I refused to cooperate the first couple times. And then they said they were going to get a judge, and I called them up and I said, hey, these are false reports. Come and meet my wife and children. She said, I'm going to come and meet the wife and children. She met us. She said, we're great parents. And then they called and made another report. And I actually have that posted where she says, hey, I've had another hotline report. I'm going to put it down that you guys are good. And so
unfortunately, a lot of people do use those as
and there's no prosecution. There's no prosecution. And when I spoke with representatives and law enforcement and different people, and I'm like, how come there's no prosecution? And they say, oh, well, they don't want to prosecute because it's going to turn people. I don't think so. I think if you saw a child in danger, regardless, people don't think, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for reporting. That is not true.
The way it should be, is if you are intentionally filing a false report with the intentions of harassing somebody, then it becomes an issue, and I think it should be prosecuted.
I searched today for several different searches, and I absolutely could not find a single person that's ever been prosecuted in Missouri for it.
Whether they have or not, they need to. I mean, that's one of the things where I personally agree that it needs to. And, I mean, filing a false police report is a crime.
Sure.
The problem is whether that qualifies as their police report or not. But
okay. Are you on on the road guy? What was your name again?
Yes. Luke Benke, Benke.
Luke. Okay. I have a son named Luke. So that's a great name, great biblical name. So that's all I want you to do is to follow up on it, and in no way is it intended to be malicious. It's
no, I agree completely.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll speak with my supervisor when he comes on duty a little bit later, kind of see the best course of action, just kind of follow up on this. In the spelling of your last name was McClanAhan, correct?
Yes.
And first name Darrell. In
yes.
case they ask who's.
I'm also a candidate for U.S. Senate.
Okay, perfect. Like I said, though, and I mean, you kind of had this experience when talking with Child Protective Services too.
I understand how the process. I understand how the process works. When you told me, that's kind of that didn't click. That whoever took that is a government employee, and they would be mandated to report. So,
I mean, with it being in the affidavit, I guarantee you 100% they have some kind of record of it, and they have their own investigation, their own protocols that they go into. And I mean, you won't be able to call them and ask them about it.
No, of course not. Of course not. It's ongoing information, and it's private. Yeah. It's private information, and I'm all for private information. But when there's a line for the people to need to know, like what went on with the shooting of Jeffrey Winehouse, and as an officer, I would ask you to look into. The U.S. Observer just recently put out an article about that, and there were mistakes made. And if you know our famous President John F. Kennedy, he would be a conservative today, and he has his secret society conspiracy. All the conspiracy theorists put up his secret society speech, and in that he says he wants a government where mistakes are not hid in the dark, but they're brought to light. And
as an officer, I agree completely. Yeah. I mean, I know some officers who would disagree with that, but I agree 100%.
All right. Thank you so much for calling me back and listening to me. All right. You have a good day and be safe.
Yeah, you too. You take care.
Yep. Thank you.